Ye Shivaramani Jagama. Yes, my dearest youngsters, welcome. Hope you had very good Ramanavami yesterday, and I am sure you are imbibing the thoughts that are given to us by Lord Krishna through Bhagavad Gita. And I am sure you are using your independent thinking ability to understand and observe the truth that is given. And I'm sure you're also experimenting on that to find its reality and utility. So these are the things we have to do. First, come and listen. Second, go and think and understand. Third, practice and come to your own conclusion and judgment about the greatness and utility of all these tips that are given to succeed in our outer and innermost lives through Bhagavad Gita study. And as we say, even me or any speaker, even one speaking, everything he cannot convey. If a speaker himself cannot convey, how can the listener can say that he has understood everything? No. So Gita is an infinite ocean of knowledge. Every time when we study, we grow in our capacity to understand its higher, greater depths. Thus, Gita becomes a permanent reference book for our molding ourselves, for our own successes outside. Clear? Now, let us do like every day the three topics one Hanuman Chalisa, only one Chaupai today we'll see, very short, then one common sense thought today, then Gita Shlokas. Same 29, 30, 31, 32. Just to summarize, it is definitely a very heavy dose, and you may feel it is not required at all for you. But it's a part of Gita, and among you, if 100 listen, even if one or two people, it is understandable, appreciable, I believe my efforts are successful. So if not today, maybe after 10 years when you listen, that time you may become assured to catch the sublimity given in these slokas by Krishna. So, and also slowly come to a level of appreciating spirituality. Is it not? How long we only say the world and success in the world? अरे तो चलता ही रहेगा वो. Slowly we should be aiming at the sublime, deeper spiritual truths also. Let us see how it works out. Whatever we know authentically, correctly, we do it. Whatever we don't know, with faith, we will just wait for the Lord's grace to fall on us. This is how we have to conduct our life in general in the world too, also in our spiritual discourses or the classes. Let us try. Om, Om, Om. ॐ सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Friends, these are the mantras we are chanting every day. Nowadays we are learning Hanuman Chalisa. We have learned the two Doha as well as up to the 19 Chaupais. Today the 20th one we will see. So before that, why not just go through the chanting for practice? Om Ada Shri Goswami Tulasidasa Virachita Shri Hanuman Chalisa Namaka Siddha Grantaha Parayanam Doha Om Shri Guru Charana Sarojaraja Nijamana Mukura Sudhari Varanaura Guvara Vimala Jasu Jodayaka Falachari Buddhihina Tanujanike सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार. चौपाई. जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपी सतिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धाम अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नाम महावीर विक्रम भजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन वरण विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र अरुध्वजा विराजय कांधे मोंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै हस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर वै सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही. Up to this we saw. So each of these shlokas are chopai telling one or the other great leelas achieved by Hanumanji, and through that one or the other secrets for our own empowerment, management, for our own successes in our noble endeavors, spiritual goals we are trying to learn. In the yesterday's mantra, Prabhu Mudrika Meli Mukhamahi Jaladhilangi Gaye Acharajanahi means what? Hanumanji was always chanting the Lord's name. Therefore, the Lord arrives in subtle form, empowers Hanumanji. And the empowerment ka proof is what? Jaladhi Langhi Gaye. Such a huge ocean where every moment there is a risk while flying above it has been crossed by Hanumanji, and that is no Ascharya because he was blessed by Rama because he was having Bhagwan's Nama in his mouth. So, means what? Whenever we are in Lord's name or invoking Lord's presence in our life, we get all those powers of abilities, energies, any difficult great tasks also we achieve. This we have to have faith. Hanumanji has the faith, so he was always chanting Lord's name. The Lord empowered him. Therefore, that Mainaka Parvata came asking him to take rest. But he says, Rama Kaju Bine Kinu Mishrama. How can I take rest without accomplishing Lord's work? Therefore, that Sattvika obstacle he conquered. Then the Rajoguna obstacle came in the form of Surasa. She said, I'll consume. He became bigger. She became big. He became big. She became so big. He became small, entered and came out. So the Rajoguna stooped to conquer. That intelligence Lord gave from within because he was always chanting the Lord's name. Okay? Third one is Simhika came. It's a Tamasika obstacle. She was pulling him. She called Chaya Grahi. Hanumanji came down and gave one gusa to her. She went into ocean. He crossed it. So Prabhu Mudrika Melimukamahi, the literal meaning is Lord was, Hanuman was having the Anguta given by the Lord kept in the mouth to become aware of it and the work for which is going. In the Mudrika Ramanama is there, therefore Mudrika means Rama 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 Nama. That empowered him so much that none of the things stopped him en route while he was moving towards his mission. And what is his mission? Only making the Lord and his Bhakta Sita Mata meet. Rama Karya alone is his life's work. Rama Kaja Karibeko Atura. That's it. These are the beautiful things, not only from Hanumanji you have to learn, but our life also you have to implement. Live life like that. Don't hesitate. Don't have any doubt regarding this type of higher life. Have faith, belief, have trust, and keep on living alive. It shall happen. When it happened to Hanumanji, it can happen to all of us also. Clear? Now in this 20th mantra, The two-liner, only one chaupai we chanted. What is that? Durgama kaja jagatake jete sugama anugraha tumhare tete. That is what. So Durgama Kaja Jagatake Jete. Jete, jo kuch bhi, whatever, Jagatake in your own life or the world, Durgama Kaja. Very difficult tasks or duties are the goals, aims, visions are there to be fulfilled. All must be good goals, noble goals. All of them, which are very difficult for us to achieve. Sugama, they all become Sugama. Gama means to reach out. Su means easily. Durgama means difficult to reach. All those difficult tasks become easily achievable, accomplishable, reachable. Sugama anugraha tumare te. On whomever your anugraha is there, for them the big tasks also become easier. So many things in this to learn. Only two, three things we say. One is what? First, Hanumanji, though is a Duta of Rama, but he himself also is a Devata Swarupa. Therefore, he has got all his powers. Second, because of that, anybody who remembers or worships him, he will come and empower or bless him. Third one is what? Durgama Kaja Jagat Ke Jete, Sugama Anugraha Tumare Tete. The third point is this technical word called Anugraha. There are two words in that, Anu and Graha. So, Anu means first paschat, afterwards. Graha means holding. So, what is the meaning of Anugraha? Holding after. And what is the meaning of holding after? Be careful it is. After we hold the Lord, after that when the Lord holds us, that is called as Anugraha. So to put it in simple words, the one who does the grahanam or holding, on him only the anugraha, the Lord grace will come. Those who don't do the grahanam or the holding of the Lord through the prayers, through the worships, through the beliefs, etc., the Lord will not do anugraha. Is it not? You do the graha of applying in the bank for the loan, then only after scrutinizing, the bank does the anugraha of sanctioning the loan. Is it not? So do you do the graha of applying for the job? Then only after the interview and selection, you are given the anugraha of the job. Is it not? You do the graha of sowing the seeds on the earth. Then only the Bhumata does the anugraha of giving you the anaj. Is it not? If you want anugraha, we have to have the graha. Graha means we have to hold with the devotion. In general, the graha means following all the script disciplines, rules, regulations. Therefore, if I have good food, if I do proper exercises, if I take proper rest, this all is called as graha. And what is the anugraha? A healthy, long life. If I don't do the graha, right food not taken, works, exercises not done, rest not sufficiently done, then I have not done graha. Then instead of anugraha of the health, agraha will come. That is the ill health. Is it not? Like you talk lovingly to your friends. That is graha. They also reciprocate anugraha. Instead of lovingly talking, your ego is selfish. They also become agraha. So to graha ka हम properly worship करते हैं तो grahas do the anugraha. Because of that the people's life is beautiful. When we don't follow the rules regulations, then we are making the grahas disturbed. Therefore they become agraha. इसलिए अरे इसको शनि ने पकड़ा, अरे इसको राहु ने पकड़ा, अरे इसने केतु पकड़ा. ये सब true है. When you don't do the thing properly, then the thing will trouble us. Therefore here the first thing is what? Hanumanji is God. Second is when you pray worship to him, he will definitely bless you. Third, you have to do your job of graha, then only anugraha comes. Okay. The fourth important point in this doha is chopa is what? Kaja. Kaja means karya. Karya means what? Duty. Duty means that which should be done. And what are the things should be done in world? Our own duties, then the values, then the help us service to the world, then the worship of the God, then through scriptures knowing the truth. These are the should be done duties. Eating like buffalo, fighting with everyone, hoarding the money, cheating others, looting others, plundering others. They are not karya, they are akarya, they are dushkarya. If that is done, Hanumanji will not do anugraha, he will become agra, he will give to that Hanumanji who has blessed you when you do right works. Same Hanumanji will beat you. through somebody else because we do the wrong. Like same government awards me when I do good works through that awards committee. Same government will punish me through the police and all if I do the wrong thing. So if I do the graha in right way, I get anugraha. If I do the graha wrong way, I get the agraha. They were thinking these things again and again, understanding this again and again, change the life's course to a proper, intelligent, scriptural guided manner so that you do the graha of the Shastra, Guru, and the Ishvara, then the anugraha of them comes. So Durgama Kaja Jagatake Jete. Any toughest even duties that have to be achieved are the goals to be achieved, the positive ones. Sugama Anugraha Tumare Tete. When Hanumanji does the Anugraha, they become easier. Hanumanji Anugraha will come when with devotion we worship Hanumanji. That's called as Graha. And in all the worships, the important two things are the emotional devotion, the intellectual Shraddha. Faith and devotion के साथ when we do the upasanas and prayers in one or the other form, the Lord will come, Hanumanji, then sees to is that all our great endeavors are successfully accomplished. And whoever have that way worshipped Hanumanji or any Devata for that matter, but here we are studying Hanuman Chalisa, therefore stick to Hanumanji only. They all have got blessed. The very many people who got Rama Darshana by Hanumanji's Krupa. The very many people who have got very many siddhis also because of Hanuman's Krupa. Very many people have achieved lot of worldly successes, Hanuman Krupa. Many people have cured their ill healths by Hanuman Kripa. Very many people have protected themselves from very many negativities or destructions or downfalls or enemies, etc. by Hanuman Kripa. There are very many people in this world, right from that time till now, as proofs. So Hanumanji is not only Rama Duta, but he is a Devata. So he responds to our prayers. So if you do the Graha, he does the Anugraha. Therefore, to that Hanumanji, we have to have the prayers. And also, uh, the Kaja which we have to do should be a Karya. To be done alone will be helped, not in non to be done things. In the bad things, Hanumanji won't help us. You insist on it, then उसका आपको नेगेटिव नतीजा भी फेस करना ही पड़ेगा. Therefore, in life, first important thing is kaja. What is kaja? Karya. Karya means what I have to achieve and further what I have to do. Is it not? If that is not clear, you'll always be confused in your goals, therefore confused in the means. Thereafter, instead of reaching something substantial, achievements or successes, we just only end up in some confusions and failures, and the whole life is wasted in that manner. या दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते. Okay, now next one, Ramadware Tumarkavare, Otanagnya, Venupaisare, beautiful joke is there in that. Tomorrow we'll talk on that. So this much today. Let us chant it 11 times. Your job is to make it 108, adding 97, totally 1080 times. Total Hanuman Chalisa is your target. You achieve whenever you want. ओम श्री हनुमत कृपया भगवद अनुभव दर्शन प्राप्त्यर्थम सनातन धर्मस्य वैदिक संस्कृते विश्वव्याप्त्यर्थम अस्माकं सकुटुम्बानां समस्त सत्कर्मसु विजय प्राप्त्यर्थम हनुमान चालीसा ग्रंथांतर्गत चौपाई मंत्रस्य जपम पारायणम वयम सर्वे करिष्यामहे. And a very powerful mantra today it should be done with a whole faith. So, and it is addressed to Hanumanji. सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते. हे हनुमान जी, तुम्हारे अनुग्रह से सारे दुर्गम काज सुगम होते हैं. You have done it for everyone. Please do it to me also. It's a direct address to Hanuman ji, not seeking somebody's recommendation to Hanuman ji. No, straight. Clear? Let us chant 11 times. Om Durgama Kaj Jagat Ke Jete Sugama Anugrah Tumhare Tete Durgama Kaj जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते is done. Our first program shloka chant. Come to the second one, the common sense thought. Simple common sense thought today. If you really want to help yourselves, even if possible, want to help the world, the first thing we have to do is to start living life, rising above at the body, senses, emotions level. Start living life at the intellectual level. And that intellect which is gaining the knowledge constantly from the higher sources and authorities. So दिमाग से सोच कर बात समझ कर दिल से जीना, दिमाग को दूर रख के दिल के द्वारा जीवोगे सो दिल का दौरा बढ़ता है. This is the only way. Living life at the intellectual understanding level, not arrogance level. Intellectual understanding level, not emotion. है ना? Like, what is emotional level? Others should listen to me. Others should be favorable to me. अरे सोचो क्यों और कैसा? When you ask सोचो क्यों, there itself is the answer comes. What is that? Why should others be convenient to you? You be convenient to them. Total thing change from a troublesome to favorable if you can start thinking intelligently. है ना? Like मैं कहता हूँ कि ये लोग मेरे बात सुने. This is emotion it is. It's emotional imagination. But why should they listen to me? Why not me tune? After all, how can you command others? You can do your own thing only, no? So you tune to them. Is it not? Even okay if you want them to tune to you, how can anybody tune when you are egoistic, you are selfish? A person is very selfish and egoistic to you. Do you really love that person or kick that fellow away? Such a common sense it is. On the other hand, somebody is very helpful, humble. तुमको अच्छा नहीं लगता क्या? अरे सेम थिंग दिमाग से सोच को अपने तरफ से करो. This is called intellectual living. People will love me when I love them. People will take care of me, serve me when I do that. They will let me do it from my side. This is called as intellectual living. And not doing anything from my side and except expecting from them, and they don't do it and becoming suffering is called emotional stupidity. A little higher intellect is what? Yes, I am doing them the love and service. Still, they are not reciprocating. Even there again use the intellect that they are immature, they don't know it, or they don't want to it, or they themselves are in some problems, some weaknesses, or the situations may not be conducive for them. Therefore, they are not reciprocating. Never mind, I'll continue giving my life love. Because at least one person is giving and one person is receiving. कम से कम 50% तो हो रहा है ना. These are all intellectual. अगर इमोशनली क्या है, तू मेरे को प्यार करो तो मैं करता हूँ, तू नहीं किया तो मैं भी नहीं करूंगा. These are all emotions it is. I give one example. Like choosing your career. इमोशनली किसी ने बोल दिया तो ज्वाइन मत करो, दिमाग यूज कर. In that using दिमाग, first thing is what are you fit at first? You have to very careful. Is it not? If exactly in which you are fit and talented, that thing you don't take up. Anything else you take, it is a heavy burden throughout career and life. Thereafter, in that particular field or whatever thing, do you have proper career to make so that you earn sufficient money? है ना? पहले तो आपको एक टैलेंट करियर सीखना है अपने जीवन को भी निर्वाह करने के लिए। डोंट बिकम अ सूडो फिलोसोफर, बस मैं करता जाऊँगा ये जो है, उससे मुझे पैसे मिले या ना मिले, खाना मिले या ना मिले। दिस इज़ स्टूपिड यूज़लेस आर्गुमेंट। You have to choose a career by which you earn livelihood so that you and your parents, wife, children, husband who depend on you, they are taken care. बस कॉमन सेंस है वो। डोंट एक्ट लाइक ए बाबा जी। दैट्स सब भगवान करेंगे। भगवान पागल थोड़ी है ऐसे लेज़ी बुद्धू लोगों का काम करने के लिए। भगवान डज़ द हेल्प फॉर दोज़ हू हैव डन देयर जॉब प्रॉपर्ली। Bhagwan is not an alternative for our stupidity that I don't do the work and he does for me. Don't misunderstand Lord like that, he'll kick you. Is it not? You should be intelligent in choosing the career which is fetching you the livelihood. And then there also you're not succeeding. And don't blame the boss and all. अब कहीं गड़बड़ हो रहा है तुम्हारी तरफ से, दिमाग लगाओ, सोचो क्या तुम्हारे तरफ से करेक्ट कर सकते हो. So the common sense thought is live intelligently at the intellectual level with the correct understanding. Then all your understandings express with proper emotions of the mind. Let the mind add beauty to the intellectual living. Not that the intellect is पूरा सड़ गया, काम ही नहीं कर रहा, यूज ही नहीं कर रहे, and emotions are all negative of raga dvesha kama krodha and spoiling your mind, spoiling others mind, spoiling mutual relation and spoiling the entire atmosphere. Is it not the emotion of anger? I shouted at that fellow. Such a peaceful fellow. He also instigated in anger. He also shouted. Because of both of them shouting, the whole atmosphere has become very vulnerable and very warsome. Listening or seeing to that thing, all others are frightened around. Don't we do that when the two scooters come together, cars come together, instead of mutually discussing and saying, sorry, this fellow shouts at that fellow shouts at this fellow, and everybody comes together and it becomes a big issue. These are all emotions. Intellectually, ruko, utro to me jao bhai, I'm sorry, me only went wrong. Yesterday it happened, and day before, huh? Just a fraction only, not much. Little bit. I conked a horn, but that fellow just came. I put the horn, but I went in that way to overtake from the other side vehicles. Then I just looked at him, said, I'm very sorry. He looked at me surprised. अरे कोई सारी भी बोलते हैं क्या आजकल? He also smiled at. Intellectual it is. If he stops and fights with me, and I also argue, मैंने हॉर्न बजाया तुमने क्यों नहीं सुना? Because of bajana horn, it's not all the right that I am right. There's so many other reasons also. Safety is the final goal. Everywhere with the wife, her husband, her children. First, intellectual. What is intellectual? Understand? She is the wife. I have my responsibility to take care of her. A part of responsibility is listen to her even if she is wrong. Then lovingly explain to her without making her feel her guilty. Because after all, first of all, overall, she is your only wife. This is intellectual. And then use emotion. Say her sorry, say her love you, say I'll change myself. Then she also slowly learns. And once दोनों के बीच में जम गया मानो, even भगवान cannot create fighting with you between you. How can otherwise you are becoming sentimental, emotional for everything you are fighting. भगवान भी कहते हैं मेरे से नहीं होगा और मैं करूंगा भी नहीं इनको इकट्ठा, बिकॉज मेरे को बहुत बढ़िया एंटरटेनमेंट मिल रहा है. Everywhere so. So, common sense thought live at the intellectual level, not again intellectual arrogance. Intellect crystal clearly understanding what to do at every time with the authority of Shastra. Without Shastra, नहीं. अगेन किसी बुद्धू का दिमाग मत यूज करना और अपना ऑलरेडी बुद्धू वाला दिमाग भी नहीं, शास्त्र का ही बुद्धि हमको यूज करना है. Then to that add the beauty of emotions, positive emotions, and execute them as perfectly as possible at the gross execution level. एवरीवेयर लाइक फूड. डोंट बिकम इमोशनल कि ये खाएंगे वो खाएंगे, तबीयत खराब होता है. इंटेलेक्ट कौन सा सीजन चल रहा है, व्हाट इज माई बॉडीज कंडीशन, शुगर और बीपी, एवरीथिंग. देन दिमाग से सोच लो कि क्या खाना है, फिर दिल से उसको अच्छा बना के खाओ. अब दिमाग से लिया मानो, दिल से लिया मानो, बहुत दिनों गए खा के, अरे इसलिए ही जिंदा हो तुम नहीं खाया. इमोशनली कहें बहुत दिनों गए पॉइजन खा के. अरे आज एक बार खा लेते, दैट विल लास्ट फूड. Do you understand it? The beauty of the great life of intellect. एवरीवेयर। भगवान ने हमको दिमाग इसलिए दिया कि हम अपने आप को बचा सके और आगे बढ़ सके, और उसको यूज नहीं करते, इसलिए आगे भी नहीं बढ़ रहे और बचाने की जगह अपने आप को बिगाड़ रहे हैं। Think about it. Okay, should be enough. Now come to our Gita shloka number. Mm, mm, Good thought today of common sense. आई टोल्ड यू 4 श्लोकास ना, 29, 30, 31, 32। एक ही बार मैं पढ़ूंगा, फिर एक एक को मैं एक्सप्लेन करूंगा, आप ध्यान से सुनना। ओम श्री कृष्ण शरणम मम, श्री गीता शरणम मम, श्री व्यास शरणम मम, श्री सद्गुरु शरणम मम, श्री कृष्ण शरणम मम, श्री कृष्ण शरणम मम, शरणम मम, शरणम मम। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता षष्ठोऽध्यायः आत्मसंयमयोगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अथ एकोनत्रिंशति द्वात्रिंशतितमौ श्लोकौ 29, 30, 31, 32 श्रीभगवानुवाच सर्वभूतस्थमात्मानं सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि ईक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः यो मां पश्यति सर्वत्र सर्वं च मयि पश्यति तस्याहं न प्रणश्यामि स च मे न प्रणश्यति सर्वभूतस्थितं यो मां भजत्येकत्वमास्थितः सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि स योगी मयि वर्तते आत्मौपम्येन सर्वत्र समं पश्यति योऽर्जुन सुखं वा यदि वा दुःखं स योगी परमो मतः स योगी परमो मतः। These 4 shlokas talk about the third level of yoga. In this, after reaching to the second level of yoga, how that yoga has to be utilized for the highest purpose. So, the 3 stages of yoga. First stage of yoga is trying to control our mind. Second stage of yoga is controlling the mind, mastering the mind. Third is using that mind, the controlled mind. Is it not? 3 levels, very clear. So, in the effort to control the mind, we have done all those things. Arurukshor Muner Yogam, Ar Shucho Deshe Pratistapya, up to Yunjanevam Sadatmanam, Yogi Niyatamanasah. Shantim Nirvana Paramam Samstamadhigachati. Then we came to the shlokas of Natyashnatastu Yogosti Nachaikantam. Second level we started from Sankalpa Prabhavan Kaman Tyaktva Sarvan Asheshataha. Doing this second higher inner yoga, we reached again Yunjannevam Sadatmanam Yogi Vigata Kalmashaha Sukhena Brahma Samsparsham Atyantam Sukhamashrute. It was the 28th mantra. Now that means what? Now my mind, in which the thought flows are there, are fully regulated and controlled by me. So, in that process, so many things happen. I'll not frighten you by telling all that, but I will only touch upon it. First of all, why the mind is always in the state of flux, that too uncontrolled. Now, from the morning, you wake up till night, and also in that uncontrolled flux situation of mind, why variety of thoughts of various moods or modes coming. Third, when any situations come, why I am reacting to them instead of responding, and that also in negative manner and creating chaos to me and outsiders. Should we not think all that? And the only answer is two things. One is we have lot of wrong notions in us. These notions in Vedantic spiritual language are called as bad samskaras, or called as tendencies, or called vasanas. Okay, when I see the sweet, immediately I must eat it. That is called vasana. Then the same sweet when I see, Hare, I can share it with others. It's called samskara. When I see the sweet, when I say, Hare, this can be offered to the Lord, this is called as bhakti or upasana or divine samskara. Sweet remains same. Seeing the sweet remains the same. How do you react to that? Depends on your own inner impressions or vasanas. Same impressions and vasanas make us live in a particular manner. Like anytime I see the sweet, I want to eat it only. That reacting only a particular manner is called as habit. Therefore, because of our vasanas and because of our habits, continuously we have the flow of the thoughts of various moods. जैसे वासनाएं हैं वैसे थॉट्स आते हैं, जैसे हैबिट्स है वैसे थॉट्स आते हैं. So too, जैसे वासना हैबिट्स है वैसे to the outer perceptions or the situations we respond. Like just I give example. In the big cities, when one car scooter come together, the car wala shouts at the scooter wala because he's in arrogance or other fellow. And all the public come and beat the car wala because according to public, जिसकी गाड़ी बड़ी है वो गलत है. This is how the training is done. It is a vasana in the people here. That anybody that way obstructs or even little courage comes to my vehicle, I must just punish him and take him to police station and or put a case. All this nonsense. But same thing when you see the Pahadi area, Ghat roads are there. Same only one road is there, and this fellow jeep wala 100 times in a day he'll have to go and come. Subah chase others. In that 100 times, thousands of vehicles come. When so many vehicles come, how many hundreds of time they must be crisscrossing? Many times. But not even one time they fight. Why is it so? Because the samskara there is what? Ki already Ghamasan road hai with so many turns. If I become angry because the other fellow's mistake, definitely without anybody's prompting, I'll do the mistake and take the vehicle into the valley instead of the road. Therefore, in the interest of maintaining the mind's quietness to have a good ride, they only smile at each other even if the other fellow does mistake. And that is the nature or some tendency or the habit they have there. That is why today, if I do wrong here, there in traveling, the next day the other fellow does wrong. When I do wrong, that fellow forgives me and smiles. When he does it, I forgive and smile. It never becomes an issue. Why? The habit and vasanas of samskaras of them are like that. In cities, that is not samskar. Everybody paise wale. Everybody arrogant. Therefore, each one says nobody should do mistake. If this fellow does mistake, out of right, when the fellow thinks right and shouts, he says, "You can talk to me in a soft manner. Even though I have done mistake, you have become aggressive. Therefore, for your aggressiveness, I react." And same thing when he other fellow does, he also becomes aggressive. This is the nature developed here. In the same way, everywhere. It's a tendency. In some houses, the children, much before parents tell the work, they only ask and do it. That is their vasana and samskara, which they brought from many lives. In another family, 10 बार भी बच्चों को parents बताए, he doesn't do any work. That is what the vasanas or tendencies he brought, as well as he has got that habit. Accordingly, that house, the earlier one is like Swarga, second one is like Naraka. है ना, पेरेंट्स बुढ़े हो गए, थक जाते हैं, they can't get the work done from that buffalo like children, and they can't kick them off also like in foreign countries. There is a very then they go to every महात्मा, every guru, and ये जो मेरे बेटों को ठीक करो, गुरु कहे तू बिगाड़ा, मैं ठीक करूं, कैसे करूं? अब करने के लिए उसको एडमिट होना चाहिए, उसमें वो आता ही नहीं फिर वो. You don't come to me, then how can I treat you or teach you or train you? Is it not? Do you understand what I am discussing? The discussion is the mind is in so many ways distracted for these reasons. Therefore, that mind is brought into freedom from those vasanas, freedom from those negative habits. And therefore, vasanas are not there. Therefore, the wrong influence is not there. Habits have gone away. Therefore, wrong reaction is not there. So, that mind, which is neither reacting abruptly to the outer situations nor reacting because of inner vasanas, that mind is called as controlled mind. That is called yoga sthiti. Such a yogic mind will know, because it already studied the shastras, as to what to do when he has to do and how to respond when a situation demands. And in that right doing, he will never fail to say sorry or to feel regretted or to get disappointed. I'm talking about the yoga. So all these practices of whatever were taught so far to bring our mind into this type of control, because behind all vasanas are eliminated and the habit of reaction is removed, and the mind is given the support of the intellect with authentic knowledge as to what to do when we have to do and what response we have to do when the world comes to us in whatever the manner. There are two things only in the world. We have to respond to the world and we have to take initiative and do things in the world. Both of them should fetch happiness, success to us, not misery or failure. All of that are done by the intellect through the mind. But if the intellect is not equipped with all do's and don'ts properly, so too the mind is under the influence of asanas, under its own negative habits, under the influence again of the sense organs and their demands. That mind will never allow intellect to gain knowledge. Forget about following the intellect. We all are like that in general. But a yogi is he who stopped the mind to be slave of sense organs, who stopped the mind from its habitual misdoing, so who stopped the mind from the influence of vasanas by removing the vasanas, and also he is a yogi who through the intellect gained all the knowledge of what to achieve and what to do, and with that knowledge of intellect, that yogi is guiding his mind and senses to function or behave or act or respond to the world, so that he's always doing right things. Right doings will never give wrong results, just like wrong doings will never give right results. Now, in our language, we spoke about yoga. Second, now, with this mind this way brought to yoga sthiti. Na indriyarteshu anusajjate, na karmasu anusajjate, sarva sankalpa sannyasi. Indriyarteshu anusajjate, not attached to the objects. Okay. Na karmasu anusajjate, they were not running behind the desire prompted activity. Na sarva sankalpa sannyasi, he never has sankalpa or desire in his mind. That's called yoga sthiti. Yoga or Uda sthiti. Now, this yoga ruda sthiti of calm and quiet and controlled and what do you say, gathered mind can be used to achieve any of the worldly goals. But Gita is not for worldly achievements, na? It is for spiritual unfoldment. And what is spiritual goal or unfoldment? Knowing the self only. So that is why these four slokas talk about a yogi after controlling his yoga mind through yoga abhyasa. When he uses that controlled yogic mind for discovering the self in him and discovering the same self to be everywhere, he will reach to a samasthiti. Once he reach the samasthiti, that everything is same one and all, he will never have biasness or partiality. Only when we have biasness and partiality of likes and dislikes, that we consider somebody as Shatru or other as Mitra, then only our activities are biased, then we get the undeserving, wrong, dukhi results, unwanted results, not undeserving. We get what we deserve only. So therefore, these four slokas. What is that? One by one, I tell you. One is what? कि ध्यान से सुनो. सर्वभूतस्थम आत्मानम. Sarva means all, bhuta means being, stham means station, atmana means one's own self. Is not the same self consciousness in me is other person. Is not same individuality in me is like in that other also. Is not same senses, body, mind as I have. Little difference maybe in shape, gender and all, but otherwise same. Is not my hunger and others' hungers are same. Is not I am miserable when something burns on me and on him also. So that way, see from every standpoint equalness. Whatever is in other person is in me only. सर्वभूतस्थम आत्मानम. सबके अंदर रहने वाला मेरे को देखना. Actually, it's a spiritual thought. Okay, in every being, finally, what is there is their own inner self. Beyond their seen body, beyond their seen senses, beyond their own mind intellect. That same self is there in me only. Like in every pot, what is there commonly is mud. The pot can be smaller one, bigger one, this shaped, that shaped, अब कुछ भी बना उसको. The main substratum is one only. Same way, sarva bhutastam atmanam, seeing yourself in all. That's why I said they are very spiritual, high thoughts. And I don't want to explain them with the help of so much of Vedanta and all. It will too heavy to you, run away. They were only literal meaning I am telling you for those who are capable of catching. So Sarva Bhutastham Atmanam means seeing my own self in all. So to Sarva Bhutani cha Atmani, and all beings are in me only, because whatever is there in me alone is in me also. Whatever is there in them alone is in me also. Sarva Bhutani cha Ikshate. If that vision you develop, he is called as Yoga Yukta Atma. Means with the yoga, he has made right use of it. The controlled mind he used to discover oneself in himself and others. And what will happen to him, such a one? Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. Then at all places, times, he will have Samadrushti, not Vishamadrushti. So he will be behaving in the world in such a manner that all are happy, not that I will be happy at the cost of others. Sometimes even I have to suffer, I'll make the total happy. That type of sarvatra samadarshanaha happens to a yogi when he uses his yoga mind of controlled mind for seeing the one self in him as the self in all as the self in him. Sarva bhutastham atmanam सर्वभूतानि च आत्मनि. सब में रहने वाले अपने आप को, अपने में रहने वाले सबको ईक्षते, अगर देख पाता है तो योग युक्त आत्मा, the one who has control in yoga with the mind with the yoga and uses that mind to see that common self, thereafter it will become sarvatra samadarshanaha. There will be no vishamata in him of biasness. In the samadrushti there will be no problem. Okay. Now the same thing he is saying in a different manner. What is that? In a bhakti bhasha. Bhasha language, he says, Yomam pashyati sarvatra. The one who sees me, the Lord, in everyone. Then sarvam cha mai pashyati, and who sees everything in me. Mai sarvam pashyati. Tasya aham na pranashyami. To such person, I will always be available. Never I go away from him. Such a way na pranashyati. I also will not leave him and go away. We are together. So if I see myself in all, others in me, I will get samadrushti. If I see the Lord in all, including me, if I see all, including me in the Lord is always with me, and I am always with the Lord. If the Lord means the all infinite divine powers and expressions, they come to our rescue whenever we need to. Now, the result of these two states is third one. Sarva bhuta sthitam yo mam bhajati. Not only we see the Lord in all. When you see the Lord, so what do you do with the Lord? You only do respect and reverence and service. Na? Therefore, having seen the Lord everywhere, Sarva bhuta sthitam yo mam bhajati. Bhajati means serving. Ekatvam astitaha. Because of establishing in the knowledge that in and through all same God is there. So I do seva only to everyone. In the doing seva, the treatment is different. Like the doctor sees the patient in all patients. Is it not? He sees patients only. So he has got one vision in all the patients that they are patients. But will he treat all of them in the same manner? He will not treat same. And is treating in whatever the different way he does, again with one common purpose, that they have to become healthy. Therefore, if it's an ophthalmic problem, he does the eye checkup and eye related the treatment. If he has got any neuro, he will do that. If he has got cardiac, he will do that. If he has got any आर्थो वाला वो करेंगे, ENT है तो ENT का करेंगे, डर्मो वाला है तो डर्मो करेंगे. So depending on the disease, he treats. But for him, all patients are commonly patients, and in his vision, he'll have to give the health to everyone. That is the meaning of bhajati. Therefore, we have to give ananda to all. That ananda depends on how we give them or what they need. Like the patient to be made healthy. So that patient is this problematic. With this problem is suffering. तो उसके लिए जो मेडिसिन देना है वो दे दो. इसलिए भगवान हो या गुरु या पेरेंट्स हो, even they scold also the children or disciples or devotee. Why? Because in that only there is a welfare of that person. Like the doctor even does amputation. Sometimes he cuts it also. Is it an amputation भी करेगा? पूरा गैंग्रीन हो गया मानो, तो लेग इज सफरिंग with troubling to other ones, उसको निकाल ही देते हैं. In the interest of the other total body. Are you understanding? I am explaining you the sentence. Sarva bhuta sthitam yaha mam bhajati. So I am seeing God in you, and to the God I am serving. And what is my service to the God in you? By giving Gita Gnanam to you, not to the God. Because God knows Gita. God knows Gita, नहीं भगवान को गीता आता है, उन्होंने दिया हमको. Is it not? Like a very hungry person, in him you see God, and what do you give him? Food only. And an overeaten fellow, in him also you see God, but you don't give him food already because he's full. उसको डाइजिन दो so that ये खाया हुआ वजह हो जाएगा. Do you understand? Sarvabhuta sthitam yah mam bhajati. Because ekatvam astitah, because they are firmly rooted in discovering one God in everyone. Such person sarvatha vartamanopi. He will be doing various activities to propitiate me. Through all of that, sa yogi, that yogi mai vartate. He'll be doing favor to me only. He'll be expressing his devotion to me only. He'll be pleasing me only. And definitely I'll be pleased with that person who sees me in everyone and does all activities required to propitiate me in that. That is little subtler. I am not completely teaching you these shlokas because they need to be explained through the Vyasa आदिशंकर भाष्य गुणार्थ दीपिका. बड़े बड़े सब्जेक्ट लेकर मैं पढ़ा सकता हूँ आपको, बट आप ले नहीं सकते, इसलिए मैं इतना ही आपको लिटरल मीनिंग बता रहा हूँ. हो गया? 3 श्लोकास we have seen. First one is what? The 6th chapter, Sarvabhutastamatmanam, Sarvabhutani cha Atmanikshate, Yoga Yuktatma. Then he becomes Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. Second, Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra, Sarvanchmai Pashyati, Tase Aham na Pranashyami, Sachamena Pranashyati. So, when I see myself in others, others in myself, I get samadrishti. But every time it may not be possible, I may lack inspiration. Then already there is a God with infinite powers to bless us. Therefore, do the second practice also simultaneously, seeing God in all, seeing all in God. Then the Lord says, that person will be always with me. I am there with always with him to help him. In the third close shloka, therefore the one who sees me everywhere and does service to me, then anywhere whatever he is doing is with me only, and I am also with him. Last one is conclusion. Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yaha Arjuna. Sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramaha mataha. Therefore, becoming a yogi is one thing, becoming the yoga sthiti for a greater thing is second thing. Like earning 2 lakhs is different. What for you are using it? Yesterday I talked, therefore I am not touching it. Becoming a minister different, and how you are using that power is different. Becoming a civil servant is different, and how are you using that position is different. So becoming yogi is different, and what you are using that yoga shakti of control of the mind is different. The highest, Sayogi Paramaha. He is an extremely great yogi, I certify him. Bhagavan is saying, whom the one who has used his yoga power of controlling the mind, means controlled mind for this purpose. What is that? Sarva Atmaupamyena Sarvatra Samam Pashyati. When he sees him like as he treats himself, so too he treats others in Sukha or the Dukkha is Parama Yogi. In simple words, it's what? Do you want dukkha? No, then don't give it to others. Do you want sukha? Yo, give it to others. Okay? And what gives dukkha to you when others insult you, whether others trouble you, when they scold you, whether you cheat you, whether they insult you, then you don't do this to them. Because of this only all the values have come. And how to become happy? When they love you, respect you, invite you, value you. Do the same things to make others happy. Is it not the one who uses his controlled mind for controlling his negative behaviors and doing controlled way positive behaviors, so that as he doesn't want to become miserable, therefore he never makes anybody miserable. As he wants to be happy, therefore makes others happy. He is a Parama Yogi. ठीक है नहीं? 10 लाख कमा के जो गरीब भूखे को खाना खिलाता है और एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशन को देता है प्रॉपरली और यूजेस फॉर द मेडिकल, ही इज कॉल्ड ए रियल रिच पर्सन ना. Other fellow has got 10 crores, but not at all using it for any of these very good purposes, using only it to buy a Mercedes Benz or buy a big choppers, helicopters, or with the family go to in a big resorts and spend all the money only for his own bhoga, What is the use of that fellow's money for the world? He is not a Parama Yogi. Like that, you be very careful before worshipping the heroes. Or what are they doing with their powers, your money? You look at that, then you worship. Just because somebody is a cinema actor or somebody is a big cricket player, don't do नमस्कार. वो लोग क्या कर रहे हैं अपने पैसे से? कोई सेवा कर रहे हैं तो they respect them. Respecting them for their sports or the cinema action is different. It's okay, their profession it is entertainment to us. But don't make them hero. Many of them are not rightly using money. If in India all such rich people properly use the money, nobody will suffer for diseases, nobody will lack the medical treatment, nobody will suffer the food. They are not doing. Therefore, you teach them. भाई लोग इतना तुमको प्रेम देकर इतना ऊपर उठा के बिठा रहे, तुम इतने करोड़पति बने हो, करोगे क्या उसको? And they want to eat only for their children and all that. Don't use. Therefore, they are not matured. They are only talented. Talent is different from life. Just because somebody talented in acting or cinema or even lecture baji like me doesn't mean that is great or good. Talent is different from goodness. Intelligence is different from goodness. You worship the good people, not the intelligent or talented or rich people. And the goodness is always in one parameter, you serve all. And the world needs service in food, in education, as well as in medication. And in general, सारे villain action जो करते हैं ना, in the real life they act like heroes giving charities. And those are hero like in the movie. They are doing more drug and all this business in the real life. No, I am not confusing your mind. Don't go into that track. मैं इसका vision दे रहा हूँ आपको. Why all that has come? To prove this, कि achieving yoga sthiti by all upasanas is different. All yoga sadhanas. Using that yoga sthiti for what is different. And here he says, the Lord says that the one who sees everybody as his own self in Sukha Dukkha, in other words, as he doesn't want Dukkha, therefore doesn't give Dukkha to anyone, even an ant. And he wants Sukha, therefore he gives Sukha everyone, just like even an ant, says Parama Yogi. Isn't it? For that, how much ego has to be controlled, selfishness has to be removed. बहुत करना पड़ता है. That is what real achievements. बाकी जो नौकरी करो या उल्टा सीधा करके पैसे कमाओ, that anybody can do. Thank you. Tomorrow we'll see all the next. A question asked by Arjuna. Bhagavan, is so tough to come to this samasthiti. Bhagavan says, beta, abhyas vairagya karo, to ho jayega dheere dheere. We enter into that. Mano niyantrana abhyasa. Yoga sthiti reaching abhyasa practices in the next remaining shlokas. Total this chapter is 47 shlokas. We have seen 32. So 15 hai. So beautiful. They are all very sublime. All this put together is called Atma Samyama and Dhyana. Atma Sama is control of the faculty. Dhyana is using the control faculty for discovering the divinity. After divine is discovered, love and serve all because everything is divinity. This is the real fulfillment of life. Om सर्वभूतस्थमात्मानं सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि ईक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः यो मां पश्यति सर्वत्र सर्वं च मयि पश्यति तस्याहं न प्रणश्यामि स च मे न प्रणश्यति सर्वभूतस्थितं यो मां भजत्येकत्वमास्थितः सर्वथा वर्तमानोऽपि स योगी मयि वर्तते आत्मौपम्येन सर्वत्र समं पश्यति योऽर्जुन सुखं वा यदि वा दुःखं स योगी परमो मतः. दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे ते. Common sense thought is slowly live life with intelligence of intellect, gaining knowledge from right authority. Don't live at the emotional level like an ordinary man, or only at the senses level like a devilish man, or at only a body level like an animal. Thank you, all of you.